A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, it is a period of verbal class distinction. Presented with a willing subject in Eliza Doolittle, Henry Higgins makes a bet that he can turn a common flower girl into a lady of high society. But when Eliza finds her voice, he might not be prepared for what she has to say. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed therein are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of their employers.
Hello there, and welcome back to 6 Degrees of Star Wars, the Hello there, and welcome back to 6 Degrees of Star Wars, the podcast where we explore all the ways George Lucas's flagship franchise surrounds us, binds us, and penetrates us in the landscape of cinema. I'm your host, Sam Marchioni. Joining me today, Grady Smithy.
I could have danced all night, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
Callie Castle.
One time, a closeted gay man tried to form a polyamory, and it really went badly.
And for the very first time, please welcome Violet Floor.
Just you wait, Henry Higgins, until I get you.
Okay. Right, got the gimmicky English accent out of the way. We are here discussing the 1964 My Fair Lady. This is Degree 6, and oh boy, cue the droid.
Greetings, I am IER60, Star Wars Retelling Connections. Point of intersection found. This is Degree 6. Audrey Hepburn was in Robin and Marion with Anne Skinner, who was in A New Hope, and Mary Selway, who was in Return of the Jedi. Additional source material found. This is a retelling of Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. Additional Oscar material found. My Fair Lady won for Best Actor, Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Music Score, Best Sound, Best Director, and Best Picture at the Surrey 7th Academy Awards. For additional connections and uncredited amendments, check out 6degreesofstarwars.tumblr.com/sibling blog.
So, if you pay attention on the internet, you guys might already know that I have something of a connection to this movie, or at least the source material. Shout out 2025 Worlds Elsewhere Pygmalion! Woo! But what was everybody else's experiences with My Fair Lady before our watching today? Because I have some stories as well, but I want to hear yours first.
So, I got to see Laura Benanti in the Broadway revival front row on my birthday a few years back. That was pretty crazy. I also read Pygmalion in high school and saw the movie for the first time in high school. And then I rewatched it again this time after a few years after since having watched it.
I grew up in the days before streaming or even cable, and so we were just stuck with whatever was on broadcast TV, and this popped up at least twice a year, and every time I was glued to it, and it just burned itself into my little theater kid DNA.
My introduction to My Fair Lady was reading about it in an Audrey Hepburn biography as a kid, and I decided to boycott it because they didn't let Audrey Hepburn sing, and she was upset about that, so I would be upset about it. And then I chilled out as a teenager and actually watched it and was like, wow, this is wild, but it's also a great lawn movie to put on when you're doing chores or crafting or things. And then I also read Pygmalion in high school. I've yet to see either Pygmalion or My Fair Lady performed live.
Well, the good news is I have a link I can share with you later that can let you watch Pygmalion performed live. Jazz was our Eliza. We loved it. As for my experiences, I was introduced to this because my mother heard me continuously saying, "Just you wait," and she was like, okay, You're quoting My Fair Lady, but you've never seen My Fair Lady. We need to address that. And actually, she didn't get around to addressing it. What happened was she and my dad were out doing a thing, and so I was in the keeping of my grandfather for a weekend. And my grandfather told me that he was going to take me to see the greatest musical ever, which I thought at the time meant Phantom of the Opera. So I was like, wait, are you driving me out to New York? And no, he just drove me back to his house, turned on Turner Classic Movies, and My Fair Lady was playing. And it is good. It was good. I had fun with it. And so after that, I knew My Fair Lady and Eliza became a dream role. Wouldn't It Be Loverly and I Could Have Danced All Night were both in my audition book at certain points because, God, I crave The Soprano. I crave The Soprano so deeply. I also got to see Laura Benanti perform the role, and I also saw the tour when it came to Boston, and like I mentioned, I directed Worlds Elsewhere's Pygmalion, which is the source material by George Bernard Shaw, and I am a part of the Anti-Henry Higgins League.
We are Legion.
Indeed we are. So I want to get a little more into the dubbing of it all, because we all know who the original Eliza was, right?
Julie Andrews, the goat.
Yep.
Julie motherfucking Andrews.
I have the vinyl of all three the original Broadway cast, and the revival, so yes.
God. This is also not a safe space for Jack Warner. Jack Warner can fuck off.
I mean, like, you look at Julie Andrews' film career, and, like, it worked out, but I'm sure that's still kind of like a bittersweet sort of sliding doors, path diverging moment for her.
Yeah, Julie Andrews has this story about how, like, she didn't really like having her Oscar on display for a really long time, because even though she won it for Mary Poppins, it was also like she won it for not playing Eliza.
Yeah.
Oh, and, like, man, that's rough.
Yeah, it is on display now, as it should be, but, like, God, poor Julie, and honestly, poor Audrey, because the two of them were actually friends. Like, they were pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So at least there was no ill will between the two of them.
Good.
Hey, Patty, why don't you take some lessons, you know?
We love women supporting women.
We really do, and now I'm just thinking about Audra McDonald's performances of I Could Have Danced All Night, because she's done them, and they're amazing, and I love her.
They are. They're so great.
I could have danced all night, I could have danced all night, and still have begged for more.
So, shout out Audra, shout out Laura, shout out Julie, shout out everybody who's played the role. It's a lot.
Shout out Marnie Nixon. Like, it's a tough situation because Audrey Hepburn didn't want to be dubbed and was upset when she found out that she would be, having done, vocal work. And there's been recordings of her singing Eliza's songs that, like, surfaced in the 90s. And, like, her voice isn't great. She is not a soprano in the way that, like, Marnie Nixon and Julie Andrews is a soprano are sopranos, but her tone and her, like, embodiment of Eliza, particularly early in the film and the story, definitely feels more suited.
Yeah, like, she could have they could have let her have Wouldn't It Be Loverly?
100%. I think, because I rewatched this last night, and the difference between Audrey Hepburn's speaking voice as Eliza, both before and after her elocution lessons and everything, is so different from Marnie Nixon's voice, even when Marnie Nixon is putting on the Cockney accent. So 100%, I think Wouldn't It Be Loverly should have been Audrey Hepburn, and then just you wait, Henry Higgins, and then you could have let Marnie Nixon do the rest of it, and the transition would have felt more natural and honestly more earned.
Yeah. But that's logical. That's logical. We don't operate on logic in Hollywood. I'm sorry to break that to you, Violet.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, for anybody who hasn't seen the stage show, this movie is a pretty fucking faithful recreation of nearly everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I was pleasantly surprised by that. Like, I was pleasantly surprised.
Which means it's also a pretty faithful recreation of most of what George Bernard Shaw wrote. We'll get to it. Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll get to it. We all know what it is. We all know.
Don't we just?
So the director for this movie is George Cukor, who's he's a pretty solid director of, like, this era of film, like golden era Hollywood. And there are some scenes that I think he does really, really well, and others that I think they're kind of boring for a musical. I don't know, maybe I'm spoiled by Rob Marshall.
I think some of the scenes are kind of cringy, like the scene where they put Eliza in the bathtub. Like, and it's not cringy in like a way that it's supposed to be. Excuse me, cringy in an I'm uncomfortable and not for the reasons I should be way.
I mean, I thought that scene worked as like a horror movie kind of vibe.
Absolutely. Like, I was just talking yesterday that the first act of this movie, from Eliza's perspective, is a horror movie. She's a young woman without connections or means. Like, I think she's meant to be 19, which is wild given Audrey Hepburn was 34, 35 when she filmed this. And she is terrified of being taken advantage of potentially being assaulted, and like doesn't understand what is happening. And even with Pickering stepping up occasionally, like no one is really bothering to explain what's going on or clarify what she is getting upset about, which is frustrating and like definitely reads to us differently in the 21st century versus the 20th.
Yeah, the sheer amount of hush darling the men are talking going on in this, ow.
It's a whole song even, you might say.
Ain't it just? I do have one scene that I want to make a mention of before we move on, because this is one that it's been a while since I've seen this, and I'd completely forgotten this part. And when it first started happening, I was a little bemused, and then I figured out what was going on, and I thought it was an amazing bit that they included. It's the next morning after everyone has cleared away from where Eliza was trying to sell flowers, and her dad is staggering out to meet the sun and everything. And you have the empty street, and then a few people walk onto it and freeze. A few people more walk onto it and freeze, and just bits and pieces at a time until you have an entire tableau of a busy street, and then it kicks into action. And that's the sort of thing that you can only do in the movies to have it work as effectively as it did here.
Yeah, well, it was really cool.
I think it would work theatrically as well, but I think because it's so theatrical, and because you get to pan out, like it's definitely heightened by being in a movie. But yeah, that's definitely a phenomenal sequence.
Yeah, even if I know some people aren't maybe the best fan of a little bit of luck.
Hi, hello, it's me.
It's a great villain song.
Yeah. Like, Stanley Holloway is fantastic as Alfred Doolittle. He played it on Broadway. He got to play it in the film alongside Rex Harrison as Henry Higgins. He's a very fun character for like the philosophy and the themes that the show is playing with. Absolutely atrocious as a person.
Directing Pygmalion, we worked with Billy Roddy as Alfred, and we really like dug into this character of like how much does he believe his own bullshit. And I think the answer for the Stanley Holloway version of Alfred Doolittle is he believes all of it wholeheartedly. This is a man with exactly one brain cell.
Yep.
He just all of his scenes and his songs to me are skippable because otherwise my blood pressure starts to skyrocket, my face gets red, I start to feel this fiery rage deep within the pit of my body that feels like a fire-breathing dragon is going to emerge at any point because I hate him so much.
Like, again, I think he works in the context of the story, and particularly as another person who has been touched by Henry Higgins and whose life has changed via Henry Higgins on a whim, and he can't go back. So, like, he's very necessary from a story perspective, but yeah, I get not being able to stand him.
He's the deuteragonist in this one, which, if anybody isn't familiar with the term, it literally just means secondary antagonist. He is the second biggest, he's the secondary villain, and he gets some villain songs that I absolutely love for how horrible a person they show him to be. Great character, would not want to be within 5 feet of him for more than 2 seconds if it was an actual person.
I wish his songs were interesting to me. I also just don't like his songs. I find them boring. I'm like, okay, when is this going to get interesting? Okay, I don't like this.
Yeah, I do think, like, his songs definitely go on for a while. And that's the case for, honestly, a lot of songs in My Fair Lady, where it feels like they sing the same verse, like, 3 times. And it just goes on for a very long time. And not much is really happening story-wise, beyond just repeating the same sentiments.
I mean, there are 2 modes to Learner and Low. We do have those more repetitive ones. So, like, I Could Have Danced All Night absolutely is a transgressor in this regard. So is On the Street Where You Live. And those are more about, like, the musicality of it. And then there are the songs where Learner and Low are clearly just flexing on their lyrical capability. Like, the biggest one I can think of are Higgins songs, especially stuff like An Ordinary Man and A Hymn to Him. Because that doesn't need as many verses as it does. Neither of those do. They just really want to get in as much of Higgins' elocution as possible.
They just want to write as many rhyming puns as they possibly can, and they're gonna put all of them in one song.
They're going to Hampton, Hereford, and Hampshire, and they have to fill that entire travel time.
I'm not going to pull up a map to figure out the distance between those locations. Britain, don't come for me.
Too late. They're already on their way.
Yeah, while we're talking about Higgins' songs, shout out to George Groves, the sound engineer for My Fair Lady, who figured out a way to mic Rex Harrison so he could sing live within the film. Because Rex Harrison didn't want to lip sync, said it wouldn't fit with how he plays the character. And George Groves figured out how to make use of radio microphones and hide them within Henry Higgins' ties and scarves and everything. He has a memorial website where it talks about the behind the scenes progress for My Fair Lady and other films he worked on. And it's just truly delightful to see this was one of the films that he got recognized by the Academy for.
That today I learned.
Yeah, I mean, that is cool, and so, I guess, suck it, Les Mis, you're not that original, actually.
Yeah, and Rex Harrison sounds phenomenal. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to tell that he's not lip-syncing because the audio quality matches what they had pre-recorded.
Yeah. I said in the last episode that Christian Bale was born to be an asshole as both a compliment and an insult. For Rex Harrison, he was born to be an asshole, and that's not a compliment. Just, he is perfect for this role, and I hate him.
Yeah. My first introduction to Rex Harrison was trying to watch the Dr. Dolittle musical, and I just remember being so mad because I thought he would eventually burst into song, and nope, he just talks his way through it the entire time. Robert Preston eventually starts singing. It's not speak the entire time in the music, man.
Roger Moore has done a better version of Talk to the Animals than Rex Harrison does.
Oh my god, Talk to the Animals is so bad.
It's on The Muppet Show, so that's at least a good time.
This is my first introduction to Rex Harrison, so...
Well, he's not a singer, confirmed.
Yeah. When I was taking musical theater courses in middle school, we referred to Rex Harrison as spinging, speak singing. And I'm like, that is such a stupid word. I'm never not going to be saying it now. Sping. Sping.
Sping. Sping.
For him,
I
it
could
works.
not sping tonight.
Sping. Sping.
Sping a
I couldn't
song.
sping tonight.
Sping it loud. Sping it long.
So, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I said, I learned I Could Have Danced All Night. That was one of my go-to song pieces. And I swear to God, it is pitched down a couple semitones for this movie, and it drives me nuts.
The most Sam sentence to ever sentence.
Because the Julie Andrews version, the version I learned is up here. It's
I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night.
And then The film version's a little bit lower. It's like,
I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night.
I don't even know if that's like audibly different to you guys, but
Yeah.
Now that you pointed out,
I almost wonder if they had pitched it down when they were pre-recording everything with the intention that Audrey Hepburn would be singing it.
I mean, it's possible, and that just feels even more painful for Audrey, honestly.
Yeah. Like, you look at Camelot, which is a very bad Lerner Lowe movie adaptation. I'm fond of the musical because the music rocks. But, like, for Camelot, they adapted the theatrical orchestrations of Guinevere's songs for Vanessa Redgrave to better suit her voice. And like, she's not Julie Andrews. If you're gonna cast Vanessa Redgrave and have her sing, like, it's better to stay within her own range. So I wish that they had been willing to do that with Audrey Hepburn, or if it was more like thought out ahead of time that Audrey Hepburn would be dubbed.
Gee, it's almost like Jack Warner sucked.
just a tad.
Because Audrey Hepburn does a phenomenal job.
Yeah, she's clearly putting a lot into this, and to be clear, like Julie Andrews, we bear no ill will to Audrey. She's doing a lot with the comedy, especially like the looks she gives when she's doing the montage of the servants pitying the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yep.
I swallowed one!
Like, hey, Higgins, look at me at camera 2, please. She's gonna choke on those pebbles, my guy! My guy, if you want her to learn anything, she can't choke on the pebbles. Please, use that brain cell to let it float into the DVD corner of your brain to realize that if she chokes, she can't learn anything because she's dead.
Here's the thing. Henry Higgins, you little misogynist, when I get you. Pickering is so complicit in this. Like, he's very much the good cop of the two of them. And I do love their meet cute in the opening where they both know of each other and are so
They are
excited.
boyfriends, Your Honor.
They're boyfriends, and then Higgins and Eliza are in an Arrow Ace relationship, and I want that for them so badly. Pickering, he's complicit in all of this. Like, he steps up occasionally, but like not as frequently as is necessary to ensure that like Eliza is recognized. And I ultimately think that's very necessary for Pickering to ignore Eliza post the ball and have You Did It work. So he's a little distant. He cares because he's a good guy in quotation marks.
I mean, he does get a little bit better in the Shaw play where he'll actually, like, acknowledge that he fucked up. But Pickering in the movie just kind of wanders out looking for his old ex-boyfriend to help, I guess.
Yeah, because Act 5's different.
Yeah.
Pickering and Higgins are two people who are so fucking autistic and have the exact same hyperfixation and immediately become best friends on account of it.
Yeah.
And then don't understand why other people aren't so happy about how happy they are that they're being proved right. And Pickering is not as bad as Higgins, but he is still bad.
We can also point out, Colonel, British Army, India. Sir, that's a colonialism.
Sir, you've done a whole colonialism.
Yep, sorry, sir, you have to go in the bin. You go in the bin.
He is literally doing that, yeah.
You go into the dumpster fire. Goodbye. Au revoir.
But he's appropriated 133 dialects, or whatever the exact number was.
God.
I'm sure there are actually more dialects on the Indian subcontinent than that.
But he's a white man, Sam!
It was his burden.
Oh. Grady, no!
I had to throw the Kipling in there. I had to. Okay, maybe I didn't have to, but I felt compelled.
It has been 0 days since our last Kipling reference.
I do need to point something out, though. I pointed this out in the chat, but God, it's going to bother me if I don't say something. In the filming, in certain scenes, the lighting on Rex Harrison is really fucky wucky, and he looks orange. Why does this man look like a carrot? Dear God!
Do you want a sincere answer or do you want a joke answer?
Porque no los dos?
Like, sincere answer, like, they didn't use sunscreen back then. Like, everyone's skin was bad. And I think also they dress him in a lot of brown, which like highlights his more like yellow orange undertones. The joke answer is he's still wearing his stage makeup. He came in from down the street where he was performing in the musical rendition and had to film the movie.
Let me also just double check something really fucking quickly. Yeah, the movie he did right before My Fair Lady was Cleopatra, so...
Oh no.
He was probably also very sunburned from however long he was out in the sun playing Julius Caesar.
Oh, I just was genuinely, like, watching the opening scenes in his house. I was like, sir, you look like a carrot.
Yeah, it is always weird to see people who have obvious tans in eras when tan was not considered attractive.
Mm-hmm. Because not even a tan, he just looks like a fucking carrot.
I do appreciate the detail. I think in the first scene, or I guess the only scene that Alfred and Higgins have together, Alfred's face is very dirty, but like it clearly cuts off partway across his forehead because that's where he was wearing his hat. Like, it's jarring, but it also just makes sense for the character.
And it's one of the things that makes Alfred at least a little bit pitiable, especially when, you know, Higgins is about to fuck up his shit.
Yeah.
Not that I have much sympathy for him.
To some people. Some of us still want to throw him off the Empire State Building, maybe.
No sympathy
Callie,
for...
it's better this way. He has to live in capitalism.
Yeah.
No sympathy for Alfred getting his shit wrecked, because the reason why he gets it wrecked is he is trying to play the I'm going to show everybody the video of you watching videos if you don't pay me a whole bunch of money. And Higgins just calls his bluff.
Alfred P. Doolittle, Bitcoin user.
Oh my god.
I do have one note that I want to throw out at the end. I do love when we get me to the church on time. He has become a perfect illustration of the old saying about how if you're poor, you're obnoxious. If you're rich, you're eccentric.
Yeah.
Because that's the same bar that he keeps getting kicked out of because he doesn't have any money. But now that he's able to buy drinks for everybody loves him.
It's also like the whole punishable by a fine means legal for rich people.
Exactly.
Twitch.
Yeah. Like, again, as a real person, I would hate him. As a fictional character, I think his whole arc is very well written.
I think he just reminds me of too many people that I've known in real life for me to be able to even tolerate him. Your mileage may vary.
Valid.
I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah.
Can I at least double check? Are we all cool on Mrs. Higgins?
Yeah. If Mrs. Higgins was there day one, it would be an entirely different story.
She would have beat her son with a broom out of the house.
God.
No.
That would have been
she
really
bought him
fun
a
to
house
watch.
so she didn't have to put up with him.
Yeah.
The Archbishop and the Professor in the lot together? I should be excommunicated.
And actually, their first scene
This
together
poor woman.
just reinforces my argument about him being so autistic, because she's like, you're not dressed for Eton. I changed my shirt.
Yeah.
And it's also like, every time you meet my friends, I never see them again.
This poor woman is long suffering for just 10 cents a day. You can buy Mrs. Higgins some friends and space away from her insufferable son. Please, won't you help this poor woman get some friends?
Higgins really wants her to be a boy mom.
Eliza.
Higgins really wants his mom to be a boy mom, and she's like, no, stop it. Stop it.
As worried as she is about Eliza, the possibility of Eliza embarrassing her in front of her society friends, 5 seconds of watching how her son is treating Eliza puts her on Team Eliza for life.
Yeah. She's so kind to Eliza in the Derby Day sequence, and then immediately clocks what the problem was when Eliza goes to see her after the ball.
Yeah, like
she's great.
Mrs. Higgins, just disinherit your son, adopt Eliza, and sponsor her wedding with Freddie.
Oh
no,
George
no,
Bernard
no,
Shaw
no,
would
no,
probably sign off on that.
Why no?
Freddie's even more useless than Higgins.
Yeah, but Eliza likes him, so he gets a pass.
He's sweet, and his singing voice is Prince Philip.
Okay.
Sometimes you just, I don't know. I can never truly hate Freddie because he's just so genuinely earnest. I mean, he does kind of give this vibe of like he's manic pixie dream girlifying Eliza, but he's also just so utterly earnest and innocent. Like, I won't even come into the house. I just want to stand on the street where she lives.
Freddie is a human meringue. He is overpoweringly sweet, but no substance.
Freddie is a sexy lamp. He's there to serve Eliza's story. And I think that's part of the reason why Freddie works for me. Because he's not a major character. He is entirely there to give Eliza another option and support Eliza.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes that's all you need. Like, I love Show Me. Show Me is one of my favorite songs that I don't think gets enough credit because it gets overshadowed by I Could Have Danced All Night and Wouldn't It Be Lovely. But number one, she's spitting bars. Number two, she's making good points. Number three, he just stands there politely and accepts it. And he's like, you're absolutely right. Can I carry your bags?
Yes. No,
And
Show Me and Without You are my favorite songs in the musical. Like, I just love to hear Eliza go apeshit.
Without You slaps harder than has any right to. It is a Queen song. It's the Queen fuck you song of the OG fuck you song.
You can go to Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
Without your pulling it, the tide comes in.
It's just like it's so satisfying because he so clearly thinks the world revolves around him, and it's just her dressing him down, and so I hate it. I hate that his whole thing is like, haha, this is a triumph for me!
Truly, he's just like, I did it! I said I'd make a woman, and indeed I did! It's like, my God, you have missed the entire fucking point.
No, he's looking into the audience and saying, you get it? Because the original play was called Pygmalion.
I mean, he's like that in the original play too, and that is, I want to hit him. I want to hit him so badly, because fuck it, let's talk about the fucking ending. Fuck that ending.
I will say, I do like I've grown accustomed to her face. I think it's a very good song, and it works as the Henry Higgins equivalent to a love song.
The choruses are good. And actually, I will absolutely recommend, Chris Pine did a duet with Barbra Streisand on one of Barbra Streisand's albums that was gorgeous.
I've grown accustomed to her face. She almost makes the day begin.
It's a great song, and the more you divorce it from the context of the scene that it's in, the better the song is.
Yeah, which is funny because so much of it is about the context of the scene. I am partial to Rex Harrison's rendition of it because he said that when he sings it in the film, it's his favorite rendition that he ever did of it, and he was thinking of his wife who had died several years before the film, and he used to sing that song to her constantly. So it really reminds him of his wife.
Like Rex Harrison.
Yeah. Rex Harrison's one of those guys where it's like, you play assholes on TV, but sometimes you can be charming about it. Shout out to the Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Somehow he
Ghost and Mrs. Muir!
A perfect film, truly.
I mean, apparently he was also a dick in other instances. There are some horror stories from the set of Doolittle.
Figures.
Well, Doolittle was also a horror story in its own regard, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say, when the giraffe stepped on him, I was rooting for the giraffe.
Yeah, and fair. But yeah, let's talk about the ending.
So the Broadway revival ending nailed it. This movie did not. Bad movie. Bad. No biscuit movie.
Yeah.
I am curious to hear what they do in the Broadway revival, but I do want to hear what they do in the movie first.
So what happens in the movie Eliza comes back while Higgins is listening to her voice on the phonograph. She turns it off and says, "I washed my face and hands before I come, I did." He says, "Eliza, where the devil are my slippers?" She walks into the room a few more steps and curtain down, the end, roll credits.
It's a crime. It's a crime. It's a crime against me as a person. The Broadway revival. She walks up, especially if you're doing it where at the Broadway, I can't remember the name of the theater now where they did the Broadway revival.
Lincoln Center.
Thank you. Yes. So Lincoln Center, Eliza walks in from off stage. She says her lines, and then Henry asks her, "Where the devil are my slippers?" And then she walks right back into the audience, curtain down.
Nice.
And the play, since it doesn't have like songs and stuff, what it does is it has him rattle off a list of things that he needs, including buying him a pair of gloves. And the original version, which is the version that I directed, because that's the version in the public domain, Eliza just looks at him and goes, "Buy them yourself," and walks out of his life.
Good.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what you're talking about. The version I saw ended with Higgins' mother saying "Bravo, Eliza" in credits rolled, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, the time before my previous rewatch of My Fair Lady, I was making potato salad and I had to run out to get honey mustard in the middle of I've grown accustomed to her face, and I was like, this is great. This is the ending where she leaves him for good, because I'm not seeing the end of the film.
Yeah.
This is the correct way to view it.
You get nothing, Higgins. You lose. Good day, sir.
Higgins just needs to be, beaten with a broom and taught some fucking manners.
And here's the thing. George Bernard Shaw understood that Higgins and Eliza shouldn't end up together. Like, he wrote this essay called Sequel, What Happened Afterwards, that was printed with the script back in, 1916, where he basically explains, no, Eliza considers Higgins to be a very important person to her. She doesn't want him out of her life as much as they are fighting, but she doesn't want him romantically. And it just basically talks about the reality of her life with Freddie and her life with Higgins afterwards. It's a really fun essay and can be found online.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm going to pull it up, because one of the things that I absolutely hated was that I had to cut that from our version. Okay, here it is. We all have private imaginations of that sort, but when it comes to business, to the life she really leads, as distinguished from the life of dreams and fancies, she likes Freddie and she likes the Colonel, and she does not like Higgins and Mr. Doolittle. Galatea never does quite like Pygmalion. His relation to her is too godlike to be altogether agreeable.
Yeah.
Man, he could write.
He really, really could.
There's a paragraph that I like where it's, "This being the state of human affairs, what is Eliza fairly sure to do when she is placed between Freddie and Higgins? Will she look forward to a lifetime of fetching Higgins' slippers, or to a lifetime of Freddie fetching hers? There can be no doubt about the answer. Unless Freddie is biologically repulsive to her, and Higgins biologically attractive to a degree that overwhelms all her other instincts, she will, if she marries either of them, marry Freddie. And that is just what Eliza did."
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, they did power the city of London for 5 years just by attaching power lines to George Bernard Shaw's grave when this movie's ending came out.
I mean, he knew it was coming because it comes from the 30s adaptation of Pygmalion.
Grady, I really hate to break it to you. George Bernard Shaw does not have a grave.
You're no fun.
Please keep in the deafening silence.
George Bernard Shaw was cremated and his ashes were scattered in the garden of his home.
Dust in the wind.
George Bernard Shaw, you're such a hypocrite. I love you. You could write. You had some asshole views, but you wrote some very interesting women. He writes this he wrote this feminist ending to Cymbeline, which awful ending for Imogen. And has her actually speak up and fight back, that I really enjoy.
Yeah. George Bernard Shaw, complicated human being. Most human beings are.
Yes.
What a concept. More at 11.
So I think that part of the reason why I like My Fair Lady as much as I do is because it's one of those musicals where I don't have to worry about being a good dancer. Like, the biggest dance number in here is the ball, and the ball hurts me on a level because I am someone who enjoys historical costume, and the ball is full of costumes where I'm like, that is not what people dressed like in the 1910s, guys. But it's also like, it's everybody's favorite pretty princess fantasy of, oh, I get to go wear a pretty dress and a prince wants to dance with me and everybody's fascinated by me, and yeah, I could roll with that.
I think the most heartbreaking scene, though, in all seriousness, is the scene where Freddie takes her back to where she was selling flowers after the ball, or not the ball, whenever it is. And they're like, I kind of recognize you, but I'm not, no, can't be.
Oh, yeah,
And
Audrey plays that so well.
She's just so distressed, because like, no, really, please, I know you guys, please, recognize me.
She just slowly pushes her hand between two of your ribs and digs your heart right out of your chest.
She does. It was effective.
We said this earlier, but her physicality and ability to emote in this movie is phenomenal. Like, she is kind of over the top at the beginning when Eliza is in hysterics, and we're dialing it up to 11, but the way she commits to every musical number and just like keeps that level of commitment is phenomenal.
I mean, the entire opening scene up to Wouldn't It Be Loverly is its own little mini sitcom, basically. Yeah. And Why Can't the English is one of the songs where I give it a pass because it is so funny.
I love that song because Higgins is talking about how classism is baked into the regional dialects and is used as an excuse for keeping people down. And at the same time as he's talking about how this is a problem, he's buying into it because he's arguing that the problem is everybody isn't speaking RP yet.
Really, what these cockneys need to do is pull themselves up by their bootstraps and talk like I do.
Exactly.
One of the things that I that fucking song makes me laugh, though, because he's like, Arabians speak Arabian. It's like, no! You're a linguist. You should know that that's not what they speak. What are you talking about?
No, you see, he's English. Why should he care what other people speak?
Sometimes you sacrifice accuracy for what makes for a better line in the song.
No, to be clear, I'm not judging, like, the song. I'm judging Higgins.
Fair.
Because Higgins is a linguist. He should fucking know better.
I have two favorite parts of it. One will be, there even are places where English completely disappears.
In America, they've been using it for years.
Yeah. Which is especially funny when you see all those videos about actually a Southern American accent, a Southern accent from the United States, rather.
You mean like this, where we be talking like this? This is what probably closer to what the English might sound like way back when.
Right. I love Southern U.S. Shakespeare performances.
I love the line where it's like, the French don't care what you say just so long as you pronounce it correctly. And it's like, yeah, correct.
So true.
That is absolutely true. I was on holiday in France earlier this year, and I would try to speak French, and people would, if they did speak French back at me, they were speaking so quickly that I could not understand them, and I would say, pardon, and they would go, American, and switch to English, or else they would hear me speak, and they'd go, American, because I was pronouncing it wrong, I guess.
Yeah, I have a friend of a friend who's from Quebec and went to France and was speaking like French, like full French. And because of their accent, like the French folk would just talk to them in English. So like treating them like an American, attempting like the high school French course.
Oof.
Yeah.
They are snobs, you see.
Henry Higgins would fit right in!
Wouldn't he just?
Yes, but Henry Higgins is English. And the English hate the French.
Yes, they do. This is true.
Then again, I'm not sure the French like the French very much.
He's joining the war on classism on the side of classism. He's aware of what's going on.
He's right, but for the wrong reasons, and he gets the wrong conclusion out of it.
Yep. I'd like to circle back to the wouldn't it be lovely bit, the both the original scene and the reprise, because I had a couple of thoughts I wanted to share on that that Kelly reminded me of these.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, oh my god, it is such a beautiful I want scene, but it is also so sad, because the I want scene is about, the big grand things that the protagonist wants to have that will make their life perfect. And hers is just enough food and a warm enough place to get by.
America, baby!
Capitalism, baby!
Yeah, unfortunately. The other thought was, I love how in the beginning, when Eliza is the one that is singing the song that everything's around her, the song is very happy and upbeat. And then when she comes back and she's not a part of that street anymore, and it's just the people that she left behind singing it, it's very melancholy.
Yeah.
I love a good mournful reprise. I really do love that. And apparently Audrey did get to do a little of her own singing, because the reprise she does of Just You Wait after the altercation with Higgins, that is Audrey Hepburn. Yeah. And it's probably the best bit of her performance.
It's really good because you can tell how teary she is during it. She gets to do Henry Higgins apart from the One Day I'll Be Famous bit, and then the reprise, and then she gets like a line each towards the beginning of I Could Have Danced All Night and Without You. Which is weird because, like, they intersperse her at odd moments in the latter two songs, where it's Marnie Nixon, and then it's Audrey Hepburn, and then it's Marnie Nixon again.
Yeah, this is not on the level of Marnie and Deborah Carr working side by side to get The King and I right.
Yeah.
Insofar as one can get The King and I right. I have feelings on The King and I. Go listen to The Biggest Night in Podcasting.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the thing that is, like, building off of what you said, Grady, like, the I Want song is so simple, and that's, like, the tragedy of Eliza, and to some extent her father, like, being pulled up to behaving more upper class and not really having a space to go. Like, they're not even really middle class at that point, just given, like, Higgins's influence. And so what she wanted at the beginning is no longer really attainable because she no longer has a path of getting there apart from marriage.
Well, also, what she wanted then is no longer enough.
Yeah.
It's just, God.
Yeah.
Eliza Doolittle, tragic figure.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Eliza! You can rise above this! You shouldn't have to, but you can. I'm sorry. I love you.
Going back to the costuming, I am very charmed whenever it's like, when a movie is like, it's 1960s does 1910s, or it's 1950s does the 18th century. Like, that sort of, at the time, modern sensibility bleeding into the costumes, I think is very fun to see from a now historical perspective. Like, the dress in the ball scene, like, I think it's beautiful. It's not my favorite. That's probably the green gown she wears during the rain in Spain. But it's kind of jarring how close fitting all of her clothing is throughout the movie, because it just really highlights how thin Audrey Hepburn was, and honestly makes her look older, makes her look her age, as opposed to, the young flower girl that she's meant to be playing. Like, to be clear, I think she gives a very good performance. I also think she's kind of miscast as Eliza, but it ultimately works because it is Audrey Hepburn and because she is so committed.
Honestly, I think the hair is the bigger problem for me. Like, the hair is just so big and so 60s. She kind of looks like she's going to topple over because it doubles the size of her head.
Yeah. The hair in the ball is extremely 60s. I don't mind her hair in the rest of the film because it reads Gibson Girl to me, but 100% on the ball.
But by God, does she look like a princess?
She does.
That is kind of Audrey Hepburn's whole brand.
Yes.
Please see Breakfast at Tiffany's, which we won't get into because we don't want to.
I was going to say,
Holiday.
please see Roman Holiday.
Yeah.
I think I remember that film.
Grady, I know you were an old, but you weren't alive when Roman Holiday happened. Were you?
Sorry, Sam. That wasn't what I was throwing that line out for.
And if I recall, we both kind of liked it.
Well, that's one thing we've got.
Oh, Grady, no!
If no one else got me, I know Grady got me.
Thank you.
No, I got it. I got it.
Audience, if you didn't get it, congratulations. You're 1/4 of the podcast.
I'll explain it to you later. I did have
This
one
is
other
a test of young and also cultural knowledge, because yay.
I did have one other thing that I wanted to say that about what I liked about how this show does reprises.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the early part, we've got Eliza's song about "I'm looking forward to seeing you die, Henry Higgins. You're going to suffer horribly, and the day that I get to witness this will be the best day of my life."
And it will be the day after Callie's birthday.
Right. And then at the end, Henry has the song about, "I can't wait to see you suffer, you ungrateful thing."
Honestly, kind of made for each other. Like, I think there is a way of making the... No, they're not. Like, in this version of the story, absolutely not. George Bernard Shaw got it right with Pygmalion. I do think that there is a way of staging and playing the ending scene where it could be potentially more romantic, or it could be more of like a partnership, where like if Eliza is returning to Higgins, like make it more clear that it is on her terms, or like she is not a fool for doing that. But go ahead.
Well, I think you're just describing the TV series Selfie.
John
Which was actually
really
good. It was really good, and people don't give it enough credit. And John Cho made a very good Henry Higgins analog.
Love that.
I love John Cho.
The thing there is that I don't think that My Fair Lady can function as an actual romance unless you do something to even out the horrific power imbalance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like to Rex Harrison's credit, I do like how he plays it, like the sort of dawning realizations, like in the argument with Eliza after the ball, and like the where is she, and that's also how I feel and whatnot. But like it feels more like short bursts as opposed to like a gradual realization. And I think like if you leaned into more of that gradual realization, then it could be effective. Or also you could just make them like an arrow ace pairing. Like I think that's very doable given like how they are written. And that could be like a very satisfying partnership as well if you leaned into that.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been rewatching Once Upon a Time in each retelling, but the amount of shit Higgins puts Eliza through, I can't reconcile that in my mind to an actual romance, and I still have some difficulty with I Could Have Danced All Night for that reason, because it's such a beautiful freaking song, but I'm also like, baby girl, you're running on sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
You're not don't associate this with him. You are running high on sleep deprivation and your own achievement. This is about you, not about him.
But Sam, don't you understand? He finally gave her a sincere human compliment.
Go drink a Monster, Eliza. You'll feel better.
Speaking of, I Could Have Danced All Night. The lighting in that sequence is so gorgeous. Like with the darkness settling in on the house, and yet you're still able to see people. Like,
oh God, I do miss that.
Yeah.
What? You mean we could see things?
Remember when we didn't have natural lighting and things?
I remember.
Yeah.
Remember Technicolor?
Oh yeah. But on a side note, am I the only one who only realized that Freddie was Jeremy Brett like 5 minutes before we started taping? Sherlock goddamn Holmes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I feel like I knew that at some point.
PBS did a Sherlock Holmes series. He was Holmes in that. My brain is still broken from trying to reconcile those two roles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the only thing I have ever seen him in, so...
What's everyone's, favorite songs in this musical? Like, I already said, I really enjoy Show Me and Without You.
Those are my top two as well.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't it be lovely? And for as much as it's a villain song, I am always going to have a sentimental space for Get Me to the Church on Time.
Hey, it's fun to go through it, even if it is running for 5 minutes and you're like, Norbert Leo Butts, please, wrap it up. I want to go home. I'm going to miss the train.
Yeah, it's a very fun song, and it's even more fun out of context.
So I think for me, my favorites are You Did It, because it is just an absolutely insane and egotistical, maniacal number. Where they're just like
villain songs.
Where they're just like, you see what we did? Do you see what we did? She had nothing to do with it. We did all this hard work. Look how great we are. We're just so amazing and talented. And
the part where he's gloating about the former student is also just chef's kiss.
Oh, that is so funny.
Which of course makes her saying that she's going to teach elocution that much more of a betrayal.
It's chef's kiss.
I can't remember, in the stage musical My Fair Lady, do they show the ball, or is that okay?
They do show it in the stage version. They do not show it in the Pygmalion version, and in the Pygmalion version, he didn't even show up until Shaw went back and made edits.
Yeah, I know that the former Hungarian student was introduced as edits and stuff that he wrote for the 30s film adaptation. I was just curious if the ball was part of the musical from the get-go, because the way that You Did It is written, it feels like we are telling the audience about something that happened off stage.
So, if I remember correctly, when I saw it staged last, the ball is the Act 1 closer.
I have a playbill, Sam. I'd have to go grab it from my garage. I could do that later in message, so you could editor's note it or whatever, but...
Nope. I've got the Wikipedia up, and
Perfect.
Yep, last thing on Act 1. Eliza's entrance / embassy waltz.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably just to refresh the audience's memory of where we were, what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
It ends with Carpathy grabbing Eliza to dance with her, and he dances her off stage, and we're left wondering, oh, what happens? What happens? Is he gonna catch her?
That's a very fun way to end the first act.
Yeah. I think we've all pretty much established this is Eliza's fucking movie, which I think makes it all the sadder that, Julie Andrews didn't get to do it, and that Audrey Hepburn got as screwed over as she did by Jack Warner being a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, that's where we are.
There's a lot working against the movie, particularly in this day and age, just in terms of the sensibilities of it and the behind-the-scenes production that we know about. But it's still a really solid movie, and it's a really solid movie musical.
Remember when we made good movie musicals, and they didn't suck? Remember those days? Do you remember that?
Callie, you have been frothing at the mouth since November for Wicked for Good.
Yeah, no, you're right. There hasn't been a good movie musical since Chicago. You're so right, Callie.
Wicked is the exception, not the rule.
In the Heights is right there.
I'm so excited for Kiss of the Spider Woman. I've watched that teaser trailer 24 times.
Listen,
there have been good movie musicals since 2002. They haven't necessarily been successful on the same level as Chicago, but
okay.
That
100%. To lower the bit, I was saying that specifically to goad Callie, given their love of Wicked. And I'm
taking it in stride. I'm playing along.
Okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm laughing. I know that we're having a resurgence, but it feels like for a while there, movie musicals were either really bad or they flopped. There was no in between.
And I feel like a lot of that is because people are less willing to be earnest in movies and earnest in terms of what stories they are consuming.
Movie making comrades, reject realism, embrace stylization.
Yeah.
Have a fantasy sequence where the King of England walks in to reveal a proclamation.
Well, and Violet, to your point too, and I think it's like our friend Jupiter says, like, where they're not showing the singing at the trailers, so people don't know they're going to a musical, and then they get mad, and then less people go.
Oh yeah, I'm banging pots and pans about that as well.
I mean, there are moments when it works. Shout out to Sinners, which is not listed on the list of musical films by year Wikipedia. It should be.
It is a musical. And people can fight me on that. Violet knows who. But no, like, I think that's what the Wicked for Good trailer learned. And so I love that they showed some of the songs from Wicked Part 2, Act 2. Like, let's go. Good, you showed them singing.
Yeah, people know what they're signing up for now. And like I mentioned Kiss of the Spider-Woman, and like that is yet another Kander and Ebb film adaptation we're doing where we take out any of the music that doesn't, you know, happen in like a dream sequence or like doesn't make sense in the real world, which is such a shame because their musicals are so fun. But I am really excited.
That's
for that
just
movie.
Bill Condon, baby. That's Bill Condon.
True, but I'm also thinking back to Cabaret with Fosse.
Yeah, and so shout out to K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm gonna go watch that again after this.
Oh, hell yeah. Sinners will be my 50th movie of the year. I just need to go watch 4 more rather, and then it will be my 50th. And it will be my 5th time watching it. I've already seen Superman.
I think the moral of the story is get more out of life. See a musical. Is the Force with it?
For all of the things that have not aged well, the Force is still with this one in my estimate.
This musical is quite lovely, and the Force is with it.
Yeah, I think the Force is with it, given the binary choice that I have.
Sam, are you rolling your eyes at me?
No, I just enjoy it when people point out the inherent flaw of my premise and remind me that only a Sith deals in absolutes.
So, Sam, are you going to agree with us or be the dissenter and say the Force isn't with us? We do want your opinion.
I'm going to fucking agree with you. We're swimming in the dark side. We're dealing in absolutes. Force is with it.
So you're saying that the four of us share a certain point of view.
Let's go.
God damn it, Grady. Who has pluggables?
So, I guess I don't particularly have to think of my own plug, but I do want to say that in Texas here recently, earlier in July, there were some flooding down in Houston. Thankfully, where I'm at, I'm okay. But if you have the ability, Sam, I'll provide you a link. But if you have the ability, if you could consider donating to the Kerr County Relief Fund, these are going to go to different charities that have been vetted within these different counties that were impacted by the flooding, where over 100 people have died, and the counties are going through a lot right now. And if you have the ability to donate, I highly recommend and consider that you do so, and really just help out your fellow neighbor.
I'll second what Kelly said.
Nothing else?
Nah, that's it for...
All right. The Texans speak with one voice. Violet, anything you want to plug?
I will start donating to whatever cause you can. Just be kind to people. And you can also find my TTRPG supplements on itch. The URL is violet-floor.itch.io. That's VIOLET-FLOHR.
And in the spirit of Star Wars, to be there for the people who need us, this episode's Mutual Fund Spotlight goes to the Poor People's Human Economic Rights Campaign. With a recent and extremely broad executive order targeting unhoused people as, quote, vagrants, end quote, this organization works on a local and national level to provide safe spaces and resources for those directly harmed by the exorbitant costs of living in America. The link can be found in the description, as well as on my various socials at Demisem. Our theme music is provided by Refractory Period, the two girls, one beat synth pop sensation. You can follow them on Instagram at Refractory Period, the band. To further support this podcast, please subscribe to us on your platform of choice, leave reviews, and share with your friends to boost our visibility, and consider joining our Patreon. And now, it's time to turn to the Chance Cube to see where our journey takes us next. I decided that for August, I wanted to do something a little different. We've done a lot of cinema this year, and I decided that for August, we're doing all TV.
So we've created a short list of TV that fits our 6-degree requirements, and here we go.
One.
It's a 1!
God help us
It
all.
is a 1, which means we are starting off Oops All TV month with the pilot episode of Young Indiana Jones.
Nice!
Yeah.
We will see you all next time. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, stay beautiful, and may the Force be with you.